Anyway, good thing I haven't started like the training. Okay, so I just started recording. Anyway, so my question was, who has ever had time to work their business, but you're unsure of what to even do because you may have so much to do, or you're just like, well, I don't even know what to do today or whatever. So I know that was me. And I also know that a lot of our team members can probably identify with that too. A lot of our team members don't really know like how to work this as a business. And even me, when I went from really realizing that this was a business and I could make real money, I didn't really have a system. So other question, who does a lot of things in your life out of habit? Like, I'm a very habitual person. Every single morning I wake up, I go make my coffee, I wash my face, I put on my face products in the exact same order. I do the same things in the kitchen in the morning. I'm very, very habitual. So if that's you, let me know that too, because I feel like that's kind of where people get into the different types of things. I'm very, very habitual. Yes, Aaron, I'm not habitual with everything, but a lot of things I just do out of habit. Like, I'll drive to work and I won't even realize like how I got there because it's just such a habit for me. So now, who is a planner person and who is a binder person? Just type that in the comments. Faith, you know I'm a nap queen. Anytime I can get a nap. Tambra, me too. I'm very squirrely and I feel like I need to do all the things all the time, and it's real hard for me to figure that out. And so definitely tell me what it is. Oh, and if you even aren't a planner or a binder person, tell me that. Because a lot of times people just don't know where to start. And right. So some people say that they're not consistent with it, kind of neither, use binders for some things. Good. Okay. So this was me, right? So I wanted to be a binder person, and I sort of got this thing or these ideas from lots of different people, and I made it something that works for me and that I've found has worked for a lot of other people. Christina Stainbrook created the scalable systems, which I'm sure a million people have heard about. Well, that just did not work for me. It didn't work for me because I am very much on the go. I have a million things to do. I can't carry a binder around with me. That's why a follow-up binder didn't work for me, because I'm just all the time. Right. So a lot of people will say that it goes to waste. So when it comes to a planner or a binder or whatever it is you're going to use, you do have to find a way to be committed to it. So you can't make yourself be a planner person or be a binder person if you're not, but you can figure out a way that you can incorporate that and be consistent. Because if you don't choose your habits are going to choose you. So if you are choosing to not be consistent with your planner, then your habits are going to show that, and your business is going to show that. So, and I fully believe that if you want to change your life and change your business, that you have to change your habits, right? So I know how many of you guys are guilty of starting something and then thinking it's such a great idea, and you start doing it and it's working really well, and then you kind of fall off because you get busy or you have other things to do or whatever it is. I mean, I feel like there's probably a lot of people that have a lot of great ideas, but they don't find a way to make it consistent. Okay. So I am glad that other people have that issue too. So this was exactly why I created the things that I've done. So if you have to make it to where great habits become your new normal, because most of us are habitual. Every day we wake up and wash our face. So we've got to figure out a way to make the things that we need to do to be consistent in our business a habit. So you have to choose what your great habits are going to be. You have to choose what your new normal is going to be. And the only way to do that is to put a system in place, right? Systems are going to build you and build your business and build your leaders. And what I found is that Cincy didn't have a system for this, and that we really didn't have a way to work our business per se. It's all different consultants coming up with things. And then what I found was that some consultants and some people weren't sharing the things that they were doing, or they would tell what they were doing, but then they wouldn't share the files, or their files weren't editable or whatever. And for whatever reason, that's fine. But my biggest thing is sharing is caring. Teamwork makes the dream work. And anything that I create or that I find helpful for me, I'm going to share with all the people, because that's what I feel like this is all about. So with that being said, you need a system to work your business. It doesn't matter what your system is, but you need a system, and it needs to be something that's going to work for you. I can't make your system for you, because you are going to do things differently in your business than I do, and that's 100% fine. I'm just here to show you what's worked for me and what I created, because there wasn't anything out there for me to use that worked. And it's probably pretty likely that a lot of your team members don't have systems in place either, if you don't have a system in place, because they're following your lead. Right? So none of my people had follow-up binders because I didn't do a follow-up binder because it wasn't for me. Well, I was doing my team a disservice. I need to teach them to do some type of system. Okay? So this is what I want you to do and what I want you to think about. And if you want to do it right now while we're talking, you just need like a pencil and paper or whatever, somewhere to take notes. You could even do it in your phone, whatever. I want you to think about every single thing that you do for your business. Everything. And you write it down. And that was how I created the system, first off. I know that sounds like a lot. Literally every single thing that you do for your business all throughout the month. And it can be many different things. And it doesn't even have to be organized at the beginning. You literally just want to go down and write everything you do. And like, as you're making this list, you're going to think of other things, and you just need to make a list of everything. So then you have it. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I really just don't know what types of things that I do for my business, because sometimes even though we're doing them, they're habitual and we don't really even think that's what we're doing for our business. So here are some ideas. Basically, you need a system for two different types of things, right? So you need a system, or you need a list, of things that you do for your personal business. Okay? So things that you do for your personal business. Things such as gaining PRV, parties, customer care, prospecting, sponsoring, things like that. I'm going to show you here in a second. I wish I could give credit where credit was due. I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to show you some of the lists that I used to create all the things that I do. I didn't use everything on there because I don't do all of those things, at least not yet, because you want to work smarter, not harder. You don't want to try and start doing all of these things when you first create your lists, okay? So like I said, I can't make your list for you. It has to be what you do. So your first list or things are going to be for your personal business. Your second part that you need to list for what you do are things that you do for leadership, meaning team trainings, team meetings, training your new consultants, coaching your leaders, how you do recognition, how you build relationships with your people. So those are the different types of things that you need to think about on your list. So I'm going to screen share really quickly, and this is all going to be on the in the Google Drive. So you're going to be able to see this after I'm done, but I just want to show you where I got this from. I wish I could give whoever created these credit, but I do not know where I got them from. So here is an example of different things that you do for prospecting. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Courtney, can y'all see my screen? Can you shake your head? Yes. Okay, perfect. So these are different things that you do for prospecting and sponsoring. When you're making your list, you don't have to organize them yet. Honestly, don't even worry about organizing them yet. That's not the important part. You just need to list the things that you do, okay? So that's something for personal business. And then here for customer service, some different things that you do. Like I said, I don't do birthday cards. I don't email newsletters. I leave the newsletter up for Cincy right now. Okay. And all these other things, you don't have to do them all. Don't feel like you need to add all these things in, because you don't. Okay. And then PRV activities. You guys are all leaders. You guys know these things, right? So now leadership, recognition, different things that you can do. Okay. I know I'm not teaching y'all anything here yet, but I want you guys to think about different ways that you can recognize. We talked about this a lot at SD Summit approach, stuff like that, okay? And then training, the things that you do there, and then your leadership communication. So like I said, this will be in the Google Drive for you to kind of get some more ideas, but I just kind of wrote down the things that I do. And like I said, they don't have to be organized yet. So that is the first part of that. So making your list. And once you create your system that's going to work for you, you can train your team on it. Like I said a minute ago, if you don't have a system in place for how you work your business, your team probably doesn't either. So no one wakes up one day and they just know all the things that we need to do. Right? So, and I know that I've had team members, they're like, well, I want to work my business, but I don't really know what to do. Right? And so there's been days like that for me. Okay, I have 30 minutes. What do I need to do? And I have a million things to do. So I end up not doing anything because I get overwhelmed with all the things that I have to do. And I end up making a list of the things I have to do. And then I didn't do anything on my dang list. So I hope that I'm not the only one like that. But I know that that happens to at least me. I just shut down because I have too much to do. And I'm like, I can't get that done and whatever. Anyways, moving on. So everything that you do. Now, once you have your list, this is the important part. You are then going to categorize your list into what you do, not your sponsor, not your team, what you do for your business daily, weekly, and monthly. Okay. So what I did when I was creating mine, I just had the list and I just put a D, W, or an M next to it. Okay. That way I knew all those things that I was doing. Okay. So I made that list of daily, weekly, and monthly. Like I said, I didn't go and add in anything extra that I was doing. But if I were to recognize my top contributors once a month, because I did that in March, I'm going to put that down on my list, because if you're not doing it consistently, it's not going to work, but that's something easy, right? So we need, and I know that for me, I really had to get my life together. And last year during the summer, I created a label system that a lot of my people were using instead of the binders, where I had labels, and it was like Monday's customer day, Tuesday's team day, Wednesday's packaging day, or whatever it is. Well, that just did not work for me, because I can't dedicate one day to something and then just let it go. And I'm a real big, like, I get so much gratification off checking something off my list. So if it's not something that I can do that day, I feel like, oh, well, damn, I guess I'm just not going to do anything today. Too bad, because today's not customer day. So forget it. Like, and I would literally be like that. And I hope I'm not the only one, but that just does not work for me, because I just couldn't dedicate that. So I kind of just stopped doing it altogether, and I saw my business start to kind of like weasel out. And for me, I'm a teacher. Most people would think, oh, during the summer, you're going to do so well. No, I do worse in the summer because I don't have that structure. So I had to create that structure for myself. So anyway, declutter and simplify. You want to work smarter, not harder. I would literally have to-do lists everywhere, Post-its that I would lose, lists in my planner, sticky notes on the desktop of my computer, sticky notes at home. Anyway, so now this is what I do. Every Sunday, my husband and I go through and we plan out our week in my planner. I use a happy planner, and I'm going to show you guys what mine looks like here in a little bit. And we have to figure out all of our different things. Most of you guys, if you have a family or friends or whatever, you've got to plan out your events. So, and then I make sure that I can put in all my business stuff. And that's where my lists are coming into play. And people ask me, well, when do you have time to do coaching calls? Y'all, my exercise is real important. And I literally plan, and people think I'm crazy and so like rude. I plan out my coaching calls based on the weather. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 80 degrees and sunny. I'm not doing any coaching calls. And I knew that from the beginning of the week that it was nice and I had to take care of me first. So that's why I plan all my stuff out on Sundays. And then, I mean, if the weather changes, the weather changes, but you have to take care of your business. So every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And I've really had to take a step back this year and realize that if it's not a hell yeah, then it's a no for me. And that means if someone asks me to train on their page and I'm not like, hell yeah, I'd love to do that, I say no. And that's not me being ugly. That's me putting my business first and me taking care of the things that I need to take care of first. I wanted to come train you guys. I wanted to do this, or I wouldn't have said yes, I promise you. And any of my friends that are on here that know me know that if I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. Or I'll find an excuse. So you need to remember that about yourself too. When you're being pulled in all different types of directions by team members, by whoever, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else that you could be doing for your life, for your business, or for your family. So, anyway, I know that Chloe talked about, how to separate your time from your business and your team. And then I'm going to get into my forms really quickly. When I say 80% on your business and 20% on your team, some people have been like, well, I don't really know what you mean by that. Okay, so put it in numbers. Say you're going to spend 10 hours a week on your business, then I'm going to spend 8 hours or 10 hours a week on your business as a whole. I'm going to spend 8 hours on my personal business and 2 hours on my team. So for what that looks like for me, it's this 1 hour training with you guys and 4 15-minute coaching calls. And the rest of this week is going to be on my business. Right? Because you cannot continue to give and give and give and give and give to your team if you are not taking care of your business, because your business will die, your business will die, your business will die. If you are not continuing to meet new customers and sponsor 2 people every month, your business is going to die. And I'm not saying that to be ugly. I'm saying that because I've seen my directors do it. I've seen my friends as directors do it. I've seen so many people let their business die because they focus so hard on their team and they stop taking care of themselves. Okay? So you have to take care of your business first. However many hours it is that you spend on your business, divide it into 80-20. I'm very black and white. I'm a numbers person. So when Chloe used to say 80-20, I'm like, I don't know what that means. Okay, I guess I'm spending 80-20. Figure out how much time you're supposed to be spending on your business. Now, I will say those 8 hours, they really need to be income producing activities. You don't need to be spending an hour making samples. Do a crinkle cutter, throw them in a bag, and move on. And same thing with your team. I am going to say that I include recognition and like sending emails and doing team shout outs, and then like a live on my team page, like quick ones that I do in the morning. I'm going to say that I do include that in something that's my business because I am feeding into them. But when I'm saying that 2 hours of my week is completely dedicated to my team, that's how I'm going to do it. Okay. Now I'm not saying I spend an hour every week doing a training, but I definitely do my coaching calls and stuff like that. So remember, you have to put your business first and stop putting so much emphasis on your team. Okay. So next, if you want to see results, consistency is key. And I know you guys have heard that a million times, but you cannot do something one time or even 10 times and expect to get to where you want to be. It's just not gonna work that way. Very few people just do things one time and then they're SSD or they've sponsored 15 people. Like that's just not the way that it works. So you have to learn the skills that are necessary to make growth possible. So you have to adopt great habits and behaviors that set you up for success. So that is where these forms have came in. Like I said, I'm going to share with you all of these trackers that I use, and I have my things in them, but they're completely editable for you to make them be what you need. Okay. And so Once again, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. So someone tell me something that they have started doing, but then they may quit, or they fall off because they just get busy and forget. I can tell you that one thing for me that I would get busy and forget about is recognition on my team page weekly. So I'm a teacher and I multitask, and one thing that I would start doing is, oh yeah, I need to recognize my team. I may do it on the first week because I always shout out my week for, or my from my month before on my first week, but I may not do it again until the very end of the month when we're like trying to get people to hit their 500 and get paid at title. So I know that's something that I was very inconsistent with, but that I knew I needed to be consistent. And I didn't have a system to keep up with how I was doing it. One month I would feel like it, wake up in a good mood, I'm gonna shout them out, and the next month I may only do it once. So I know that that's something. Faith said coaching calls. Absolutely, me too. I would start coaching calls and I would fall off. I do a couple the first week of the month, and then I wouldn't do any again for the rest of the month. What the hell am I doing? Like, why am I not being consistent? If I want my team to do it, I have to do it. I have to lead from the front. So I'm going to show you what I have created. All right, let me go ahead and screen share. And I'm going to tell you, you guys can post it. I can't see the comments, so please post any questions that you have in the comment box, and I'll go back through and look at that. And any of my people that are on here, if you see a question and you can answer it, please go ahead. So you're going to get all these files, and they are not the prettiest in the world because I needed to get this system in place like right away. So I did not make them the cutest. So first thing, I'm just going to go through some general stuff. For some reason, when I go to open these, it wants to be crazy when I open it and not do the file the correct way because I'm in Google. So hold on, I'm going to show you just from my personal computer, and we can make sure that it is showing up correctly. All right, so it's going to open up in Excel. I'm an Excel person. I actually really don't like it, but my husband does. But this is what he kind of helped me. So annual mentor, something that we all need to be reaching for. If you're not reaching for annual mentor, we need to talk, because that is where your business is going to grow. That is where you're going to get your front line doubled. You need to be earning annual mentor. Why there's not a tracker on the workstation, I don't know, but I needed a tracker with just annual mentor on the page. Okay, there's been a million of those out there. It's nothing fancy. Same thing with annual sales, but I'm going to show you why I created them, because if you guys teachers kind of like all things to look the same, and so that's why I had to create my own. So same thing with annual sales. It starts with May, goes through till April, and then you can see all that. And I'm going to show you how I have this all laid out in my planner here in a second. Okay, so I showed you those two, and I have a checkoff sheet over here so I don't forget all the things. Okay, coaching call checklist. This is so good. So Chloe uses like a leader binder. She prints out their Google form that they filled out, and if you know Chloe or you listen to her training, you know about that. So that's a Google form thing. But she would print theirs out and have it with her and talk and take notes on it, and then she keeps their form. Okay, well, that doesn't work for Chastity because she doesn't like paper, and I can't handle all that, and I need all my stuff in one place, because right before I have a coaching call, I'm going to go on my phone, and it populates in a spreadsheet in my Google Drive with all of their answers to their questions. Okay, and so then before I even get on the coaching call with them, I've written their name down here. I write down their coaching call date and time. And even if like the coaching call never happens, as soon as I schedule it, I put it in my planner and I put it right here. I am holding myself accountable by making sure I send the dang coaching form, because I know that happens. Sometimes you schedule a call and then you get a text message or a phone call and you don't send the form. So I need to hold myself accountable. Okay. Here, coaching form returned. If they do not return the form, they don't get an answer. I won't answer the phone when you call me if I haven't gotten your form. I'm not going to do it. And you don't need to either, because your time is valuable. And if they can't take the 15, not even, like if they can't take the 4 minutes it takes to fill out that coaching form, you don't need to waste your time talking to them, period. Don't do it. Don't feed into it. Set the standard now so that they don't all walk all over you, right? Okay. Coaching form returned. That needs to be a check mark or the date or whatever. If they don't return it, I write not returned. And I'm going to think a little bit about when I'm going to schedule them another call, because now they've wasted my time because I've relooked at their form. I'm waiting for their call, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, focuses 1, 2, and 3. This is what I like to do when I have a coaching call with someone. When we get off the phone, or like when we're wrapping it up, we talk about 3 things that they can focus on until we have our next coaching call. People have asked like, oh, do you tell them that, or do they tell you that? Well, a lot of times after they filled out that form, they already know that, oh, I haven't sponsored anybody in 90 days. I need to get my life together. Or, oh, it's the 22nd of the month and I don't have my 500 PRV in. Or I don't have any parties booked or whatever. So, and the focus is honestly, sometimes they're not even about Cincy. It may be about setting business hours. It may be about not being at your team's beck and call, putting in the 24-hour rule before you respond to a dumb question that people could have figured out on the workstation. So whatever those focuses are, and then there's a spot for additional notes. Now, the reason why this is great is because chances are you're having more than one coaching call and you're not going to remember next week what you talked to Brittany about, because your brain is fried and you have all the different things. So it's going to be Brittany's job, or whoever, to follow up with you. It's their job to text you or whatever and tell you how they're progressing towards their focuses. But you can also hold them accountable by texting them and saying, hey, how are you doing on these 3 focuses, blah, blah, blah. And it's all in one place. So I have all my different coaching calls. I write them in, and so I can keep up with it. So if I have Brittany here and then it's been 2 months since I have had a coaching call with her, I can look up here and see and all that. So I want everything in one place, because being on the go, that's what I got to do, right? Okay. Next thing, daily habit tracker, right? The more you do things, the better your habits are going to be, and the better that your life is going to be, and the more that you're going to be able to do those types of things. This daily habit tracker is 100% editable, and this is one of the only forms that you have to re-put in your planner every single month, because it's only by the month. So you can see up here it has the number or the days. I just put that, mine's actually backwards, but it has the days up here. You circle the month, and these are the things that I want to do daily. These are the things that I want to do daily. Yours may be different, and yours may change monthly. So I'm going to check the news tab. I'm going to track my numbers on my daily numbers tracker. I'm going to pray, because guys, sometimes you have to put real life stuff in there so that you don't get so like running through the motions. I've even added in mine, you guys are going to laugh at me, at the bottom of mine, it says, say something nice to Chase. And I know that sounds insane, but we all get so busy that we're just in the moment. And I literally have to write, say something nice to Chase every day until it becomes a habit. Because once it's a habit, you don't need it on the daily habit tracker anymore, because you've created that habit. So self-development, I wasn't doing that every morning. Now when I get ready, I'm listening to a podcast, I'm doing something for myself. Okay, these are the things that I really, really, really needed to work on to do daily for my business. So when I say connect with Daily 5, this means the people that I'm really trying to build a relationship with that are on my dream team list. And when I say connect with my Daily 5, I don't mean text them and bug the mess out of them. I'm going and engaging with them on Facebook or texting or whatever. And I obviously have more than 5 people, but that's my goal, is to connect with 5 people a day. And you've got to be intentional with that, or we're just going to sit and scroll Facebook and we'll like something, but we're not engaging. That's not engaging by liking someone's post. Connect with them. Tiffany Green, who is an amazing director in our group, taught me this thing about making friend lists on Facebook. You can only do it on the computer, but you can actually, I've made a dream team list on my Facebook. And so when I go to connect with my Daily 5, I'm on my computer. I click on that friends list, and that's what I scroll through and decide to connect with, because I want to be intentional with that. Okay. Connect with team members. I know that there are so many of us that get so busy that we just go, and we don't take the time to form a great relationship with our team members or with our frontline. So I need to be intentional, connect with team members. That looks different daily. That may be doing a gratification post on Facebook. That may be a voice text. That may be a message. That may be commenting on something of theirs. Anything I can do to connect with them. Okay. Posting on team page. I'm good about that. I'm probably going to take that off my habit tracker next month, because I always do that every single morning anyway. Now, these two, posting on my leaders page and posting on my VIP page. Guys, if you're not going to do it great, don't do it at all. If you're not going to have a VIP page that's engaging and worth it and not just like a spam page, then don't do it if you can't do it great. And that's what I decided. I was either going to do it right and do it great or not do it at all. Same thing with my leaders page. That's for leads and above for everybody in my group. And I wasn't doing great at it because I wasn't doing it consistent. I would post on my VIP page when I felt like it. I would do whatever it is, or I'd post on my leaders page really hot and heavy for a week, and then the next week not do anything. So guess what I do now? Courtney taught me this. I schedule my posts on Sunday. That's what I do when I'm planning my week. I schedule my posts for my leaders page and my VIP page on Sundays for the whole week, Monday through Friday, because I never really post on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. And then any other time that I need to post, of course I can go do that. But like I said, we get busy, we just forget. So engaging on Facebook. I know that I cannot be the only one that is a habitual scroller and a habitual liker, but not a habitual engager. And I wasn't engaging with people, so I need to do that. And then exercise. Everybody that saw me, exercise is life. So that's something I do. And then whatever else you need to schedule in. For me, it used to be date night. Date night is every single Friday night. My team knows that. My customers know that. Friday nights are untouchable. And so that used to be on a habit tracker, because if I didn't schedule it, it wasn't getting done. Anyway, daily habits. Now, those are not, those are kind of pretty obvious. Now, I obviously don't have, I don't have a tracker for like packaging parties or stuff like that, because that I'm just going to do habitually, right? You get a box and you package and deliver your party. I don't have to put that on mine, because I'm not going to let my stuff sit there. I'm going to do it. Now, this is what really kind of helped me get my life together, right? This is my weekly tracker. What I love about this is one form that I have at the front of my planner that I don't have to replace. Okay, I was doing the stickers, but I would have to set time aside and make sure that I made the stickers and put the stickers in and do all the things. And it just got overwhelming, and I would forget. And then I'm going to do my things and I don't have anything to check off. And then I'm like, I'm not going to do anything because I have nothing to check off. And so it just got overwhelming. So I broke all of my weekly things down to the 4 weeks of the month. Now, some people do this differently, but this is just what works for me. So week 1 is usually pretty heavy. I'm recognizing my team, my coaching sheets, and schedule my calls, Facebook Live. I'm taking my Facebook Live off and creating a new one, because I do that already. It's not a habit I need to create. But I do need to consistently shout out my team page contributors. I decided week 1, that's just when I decided to do it. First of the month email to customers. I don't always do that. I did it sometimes. I didn't do it all the time. Customer thank you mail outs. I'm not going to put that on daily or monthly, because I need to do that weekly. But I would, if it wasn't Monday and it was my customer day, I wouldn't do it, and then I'd get overwhelmed. Shout out active team members on the first week of the month, because you want to recognize behaviors that you want repeated. Maven, I want to get it to 0. I don't have Maven on daily because I only do Maven once a week. I can only handle it once a week. That may mean that on Monday and Tuesday I do a little bit, Thursday, Friday I do the rest of it, but then I get to check it off by the end of week 1. Okay. And then I update my sponsoring system. I'm going to show you what that is. So week 2 looks very similar. I do a Freebie Friday email to my customers on week 2 because that's when a lot of my people get paid. A lot of the stuff is the same, but I need to front load my party calendar. By me saying that I need to front load, sometimes it would be like the 16th of the month and I'm like, shit, I haven't front loaded because I just got busy. And also, I've not told my team to front load, and my team doesn't do it if I don't tell them to do it. Well, I mean, some of them do, obviously, but if I don't write it down and I don't be intentional with it, how are they going to do it? So now that I've written that down, I know I need to do it. I'm going to post that I'm doing it, holding everybody accountable. Okay. I have complete coaching calls because I really, really, really try to get all of my coaching calls done on the 1st and 2nd week of the month. So that way on the 3rd and the 4th week of the month, I'm checking in with them to see how they're progressing towards their goals. Okay. So that's kind of why I have it there. Like I said, this system, it needs to be what you do in your business. Some people do scent bags, some people do other things. So that's where you make this for you. Okay. I'll talk about Freebie Friday in a second. Week 3, I'm checking in with them. I'm touching base with my leaders about 500. We need to remind them. Sometimes they forget. Sometimes they get busy, whatever. Check in and coach current hostesses because I'm closing out all my parties for this current month and I'm getting those back out with my new people to close parties on the 1st of the month. Like I said, I'm going to get rid of Facebook Live. Ask leaders to give a training. Too often, we kind of take all that training on ourselves because we feel like we're the director, we're the leader, we're this, we're that. Guys, they don't always want to hear from us. They want to hear from other people. And I can say something to them the exact same way, and then Faith comes on and says it, and they're like, oh, well, that's smart. I'm like, I said it 18 times. Why is it right when Faith says it? So, but that, I mean, that's real life. You guys have probably had the same thing. So you can ask directors to swap a training with you. You can ask other leaders. I really like to empower my leaders within my group to give a training because you want them to feel valued and you want them to see that they can do what you do. So, and I wasn't doing that consistently. That is why I created this. I do it when I felt like it. And I don't always feel like doing any of this stuff. So that's why I did that. Okay. Maven follow-up, blah, blah, blah. Okay. One thing that I don't have on my week 1, I guess because it's so habitual for me, is sending out my will cancel email. I do that on the 1st of the month. I don't have it on there. Or you know what? It might be on the monthly. Okay. And then week 4, I email my almost there people, meaning my people who are about to cancel or maybe are like 190 and it should be 200. I shout out people close to promotion. My end of the month email to customers, those vary. Maven follow-up, update sponsoring system. And then I'm going to check in with and coach my current hostesses and my next hostesses. Obviously, those things happen just like as they go. But sometimes when someone's doing a bag party, you realize it's been a week and you haven't heard from them, or it's been a couple of days and you just need to get it together with them. So I put that down for me. And then I check in with my certified recruits. I always try to do that, or my non-certified, my essential recruits. I always touch base with them so that I can kind of push them along with that. Stacy, for Freebie Friday, it always just depends. Sometimes it's a drawing. Sometimes I'll give them like an amount that they can spend and they'll get like a free counter clean. It just kind of depends. Lots of different things. Okay. And then monthly. Once again, this tracker is in the front of your planner and you don't have to replace it. There's also things down here, or there's space down here that you can see. And you can see down here from SD Summit Approach, I added in check bar report, right? Because I need to be checking that report on the 10th when it updates. I could put it in week 2, but my tracker was already full and this is just what I did with my life. Okay. So things that I'm only doing like once a month. Cleaning up the team page. I do that at the beginning of the month. I wasn't consistent. And when I say cleaning up the team page, dream team members, etc. Sending out my will cancel, clean up the team pages on there twice. I need to get it together. Email recognition from last month, update cover photos, schedule my team meetings and my chats, schedule my leaders lunch and my meetings, and frontline goals email, top PRV postcards, and promotion postcards. Most of this stuff right here is literally done on the 1st of the month. And that's why I just put it on my monthly tracker instead of my weekly tracker, because I wanted things to be organized differently. Incentive and prize mail outs, that doesn't happen every single month. It just depends on what I've done. Update my scent of the month and warmer of the month. Okay, so this is something that these couple of things right here are the things that have really saved me a lot of time. So now when I have a whiteboard in my office, and I only order business supplies once a month. So when we get paid, I order my stuff for that month and what's going to last me through there. I used to just order stuff when I ran out. Well, that just caused issues because then I wouldn't have bags or whatever. So I order everything at one time. Same thing with printing my flyers and my office tasks. Everything that I need to stuff a party is printed at one time so that I'm not scrambling. Same thing with bulk sampling. When my scent of the month comes in, I sample my scent of the month. I also sample my counter cleans, my washer whiffs. I do everything at once so it's done, knocked out, and I don't have to worry about it. Restock my bag parties. This stuff is at the end of the month. Update and finalize my expenses, because let's be real, we all hate tax time, and I need to be more intentional with updating my expenses and organizing my receipts, and then updating my annual sales and my annual mentor. I'm going to do that at the end. And then I added in check bar report. I'm probably going to fix that later so it's not at the end because it bothers me. Okay, monthly. I hope this is helpful to y'all, because I just couldn't find anything that yeah, so what Faith said, Stacy, like I usually give them a time limit. So hopefully this is really helping you guys. Okay, so this is another thing that I implemented, because I want you to tell me in the chat box who has ever sponsored a new consultant and you start training them and then you kind of fall off a little bit. Or you get a bunch of new recruits at one time and you're like, oh, I can't remember if I told her this, but I know I told Stacy this, but I'm not sure if I told Courtney about scent of the month. And you just don't know all the things that have been done with those people. So I didn't have a system, right? I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I sponsored 12 people in 1 month. I trained them awful because I could not keep up with what I was doing. So I created this, where did it go? New consultant checklist. And like I said, you can edit this. If this doesn't work for you, don't do it. Do something that works for you. So I have 20 people on my list because I am going to earn annual mentor, and I'm going to put them all in this dang tracker and I'm going to train them right. So I put their name, their join date, their why. So many times I don't really ask them and connect with them. Why are you doing this? Are you doing it because you got the kit for free? Are you doing it because you want to stay at home? Are you doing it because of whatever it is So I want to train them. I want to know what their why is. That's holding me accountable for being personal with them. Okay. Now, all of these other things up here, we all are leaders. We know these are things that we should be doing, right? But yours may look different. It may not be important to you to tell them some of these things. But even though they have the first things first checklist, let's be real, that first things first checklist doesn't train everybody to be successful, right? There's still so many other things that they need to know. So first, I'm going to make sure that they've done their checklist, and I'm going to ask them if they've read their consultant guide. Guys, I didn't read the consultant hand guide when I first joined, and I bet a lot of you guys didn't either. And I know that if I would have, or if they will, that they won't have half the questions that they usually have. Because if they read that first, or at least skim through it, it's going to answer them. Okay. I want them to open their kit live on Facebook. If they don't, fine. But I want them to at least announce it. And so I want to make sure that I tell them to do that. Okay. So I want to tell them to do that. Now, their launch party and their list of 100, I need to make sure that they do that. I want to check base with them on their launch party and list of 100. Now, if someone's not communicating with you and they won't do that, then fine. But at least you know that you're doing your part as the sponsor to make sure that you're doing all those things, okay? The reason why I kind of have them in this order, though, also is because I want them to get up to the 15th day and their only goal be hitting shooting star. I don't need to tell them all of this other stuff until we've tried to hit shooting star and they're at their 15th day. Because for me, I know I have word vomit. I want to tell them all the things and train them on everything at one time, and they get overwhelmed and they shut down. So I'm going to touch base with them on the 15th day, see how they are with Shooting Star, etc. And then I'm going to explain to them Scent and Warmer of the Month, how to find it, website, Scentsy Club, whatever. That's what subscription stands for. Okay. How to find training. I'm going to teach them how to find training in our Facebook group and on the workstation. Maven and customer service. So many new consultants join and have no idea what Maven is. Why? I guess maybe Scentsy isn't really telling them about it. I know maybe I wasn't telling them about it, but Maven, tell them they got to get it. Customer service, meaning how they package their parties, because some people don't have scent. Well, I'm not going to say some people don't have sense, but some people think it's okay to just give them their bars and not do a bag and not make it pretty and not write a thank you note and all that stuff. You've got to train these people like they're 6-year-olds. I mean, just straight up. Okay. Then sponsoring and promotions, you want to talk to them about that if their goal is to sponsor and promote. Their 70th day, obviously reaching Shooting Star, sensational start, and then their long-term goals, okay? And then that's just kind of where I've went. If anybody has any other suggestions to change, please let me know, because I've changed things as we go. Ariel, I know I'm saying your name wrong. That's just real. Like, people just don't know, so we've got to teach them. Do you do all the things before the first 15 days? Like, what's the timeline before and after, daily, weekly? Faith, honestly, like, I don't really have a timeline, like specifically when I do that, just because I'm not going to say, okay, well, in 2 days, I'm going to make sure that they've done that, because I just kind of always have my trackers in front of me, and that's just, I'm flipping through it and doing it. Maybe I could come up with a way to do it within a couple days, but I know if someone joins on the weekend, I'm not doing all that mess until like the following week. So I haven't put a time on it. Okay. New consultant checklist. For me, I'd originally done this to where it was my annual mentor tracker too, but I just wanted something separate. All right. These next ones will be quick, I promise. And then I will answer any questions and let y'all go. List of 100. I wanted something more specific, because we always should be updating our list of 100, their name, their date, how I talk to them, and maybe even how I met them, because sometimes I may put them on my list of 100 of people I'm going to ask to party for me and something later, but they may be somebody I met through a Facebook party that lives in Colorado, and I may not remember Samantha Simpson. So I'm going to write down how I know her. Okay. And that was the full contact sheet. This is just another list of 100. I just wanted all my sheets to look the same. And honestly, I couldn't find the one in the workstation when I was looking for it. So I just made it. Okay. List of 100. Now, this is what Tiffany Green has also inspired me to do with the friend list stuff on Facebook. So just like I have a new consultant tracker, how many of you have a system for how often you're following up with Dream Team members? I didn't. I had a list in the back of my planner that said Dream Team. And then I would only really touch base with them when it was a join special. Like, why would they want to join me? I'm not building a relationship with them all the time. I need to get it together. So I have their name. I'm going to say when I sent them join info. Maybe I haven't even sent them join info yet. That's okay. They can still be on your Dream Team. How am I talking to them? Because some people don't have Facebook. They might have Instagram. I might just be texting them. And then I am 1 week following up with them. If I did send them join info, then I'm going to follow up with them in a week. Because how many times have you said, or I know I have said, hey, let me know if you have any questions. And they leave it at that and they never ask you anything. Because you're just leaving it open. Same thing with if something happens to somebody and you're like, call me if you need anything. Only if that person's really close with you are they actually going to follow up with you or like call you if they need something or they're like desperate. And I've taken that out of my vocabulary, because now I'm going to say, I'm going to follow up with you in a couple of days to see if you have any questions. Tell them that you're going to be following up with them if you sent them join info. Besides that, all of these boxes right here may be completely empty, because I have some Dream Team members that I've never even told were on my Dream Team. So their name's here, and I wrote down how Scentsy could bless them in notes. So I can say, just had a baby, is a full-time teacher, wants to quit her job, but doesn't know how, wants a second income, whatever. They don't even have to have all of this other stuff, but then they're at least there, and I'm being intentional, and I've added them to my I've added them to my friend list on Facebook. Okay. This is what I say when I say I'm updating my sponsoring system. That means my checkoff sheets for training my new consultants. That also means my dream team list. Okay. Three other things and then I'm done. Inactive consultant tracker. We know that Cincy will only give us the people that we have personally sponsored. Even the people that roll up to you, they won't give you their name. So I do not write every single person down on here that goes inactive. But I will write down people that were rock stars for a little bit or were doing really well or that I kind of built a relationship with and they fell off so that I can follow back up with them. Just because Cincy's never going to give us those other names. And if I'm not building a relationship with them, they may come back under somebody else. Or they may have just not had a good sponsor or something may have been going on with them. Some people don't want to do this, but I only do it for people that I feel like may end up wanting to come back or I built a relationship with or whatever. But Cincy's not going to give me their info. So at the first of the month before they've been taken off your workstation, I write them down there. Okay. That way I can still follow up with them. Most of the time I'm still friends with them on Facebook, but I take them off my team page and I can build a relationship with them. Okay. Next thing, how many of you have ever been asked for a sample or a mail out and you forget? I hope I'm not the only one. But Nissa, it goes away. So you can't go and run inactive people forever. They're not there anymore. It's if they hadn't had, you would have to just continue to search and continue to search. And for me, it's just it's too much. So I'd rather just have their name. Okay. So this right here, I know I'm guilty of someone saying, hey, can I get a sample in passing when I walk by at work or whatever. And so I will write it down. Now, Patty, I do use, this is what I'm going to tell you about Maven with that. So for the mail out request, for instance, I had a teacher say, hey, I really want to try Make Waves. Somebody had it and I didn't get to warm it. So I wrote their name down as soon as I got back to my classroom, because let's be real, by the time I get home, I've taken care of both my kids and I'm in here in my office. I don't remember a damn thing about her asking me for a Make Wave sample. And I'm sorry for cussing. This is who I am as a person. I don't remember that. So I write it down. And so then when I'm in my office and I'm working, I can go and I can look and see who's asked me for a sample or who's asked me for a mail out. Now, yes, I use Maven. As soon as I've done that mail out or given that sample, I get my phone, I put it in Maven that it was a sample, and then I cross it off on my request. The reason why I write it down on sample request is because I'm not a robot and I can't promise that I'm going to get you that sample that very next day. It may be 2 or 3 days before I finally get it together, especially if I'm having to mail it out. I'm going to write it down. And then once I complete it, I mark it off on this, and then I put it in Maven that I sent the sample on that day. And so then that is what follows me, or that's what reminds me to go back and follow up with them. Patty, I was a sticky note queen, but I would lose them and then I would have too many and it wasn't organized and it drove me insane. Okay. 2 other things. This is something new that I haven't shown even my team, just because I just thought of it. I don't know about you, but sometimes I will go to do my thank you customer mail, and I don't put my customer mail, if they ordered on my PWS, I don't go and put that I sent them a thank you in Maven, because it's already going to tell me, it tells me to follow up with them and send them a thank you. And I've tried to turn that off, but I want to know that I've actually, or I can keep up with the ones that I've sent out. So right now I've made my envelopes for people that I need to mail. I just haven't mailed them yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the most recent one and the date. So then I know if any other online orders come through, that's where I need to start with sending my sent circles and my notes. Does that make sense? Because sometimes I'll go and I'm like, well, dang, I can't remember if I sent her a thank you note or not. And I don't want to not send somebody a thank you note and not do what I need to do because I can't remember. So I needed a way to keep up with it. Yeah, the new documents they should already be in the Google Drive, but I'll share that again to make sure. All right, last two things, I promise. This one I really like, and I cannot take credit for because one of my amazing girls on my team who is amazing with Canva and stuff did this. So this is my monthly party goal thing. We need to go for the no. These are my join combos that I need to check off, my hosting combos that I need to check off. I'm going to set my goal. And then at the end of the month, I can write down what I did, and then notes. What I put here in the notes is like, if I ask somebody to host a party and they say, hey, why don't you follow up with me next month? I'm not ready yet. I know that I've forgotten to do that because we get all crazy and busy. And so I'm writing it in my notes so I can go back to my notes and look at that when I'm looking for party bookings. Same thing with if I keep them year after year. Yeah, you can go in your workstation and look that up. But I know for me, sometimes it'll be somebody's party and my name's still the host and whatever. I don't know. I just like to have my notes here so I can go back. Here, I'm going to write my date, my host, my sales, my bookings, my notes. Okay? Because let's be honest, you're not going to remember 2 months from now who said they may want to host a party from April's party. But if you wrote it down right afterwards, you can go back and follow up with those people. My brain is mush because I have all the things going through it all the time. So that's why there's that. Last thing, promise. Party planning page. I'm real bad at hostess coaching and I own it because I'll want to do really well with it, but then I'm not consistent, right? So we needed to create something that was consistent. Okay. So I created a checklist for mama, so that I can make sure that I do the things that I need to do because I know I need to hostess coach, but I don't always do it intentionally or consistently. So these are the things that I need to do. So I list them. I'm real bad at hostess coaching. So these are the things that I need to do. It may be a habit for you to create an event in the workstation. Well, sometimes Chastity forgets. I drop off a basket party and then dang, I haven't even created the event 2 days later just because that's who I am as a person. Okay. And then just the other things. Hostess coaching is something that I know I need to be intentional about. And so I try to create some type of system that I can hold myself accountable. I printed this front and back. And so I can keep up with my giveaways. That's also tax documentation, my bookings. And I want to set myself up for more bookings because especially with basket parties, I sell myself short with that. And I just don't really get it together. Anyway, so I am going to share all those files, but I'm going to stop screen sharing really quickly and I'm going to show you what my planner is. Also, I'm going to add in a few things since I got back from Summit Approach, some things that I thought about. So if you guys have some ideas for forms or things that you like, please, please, please tell me so that I can think about that. I know that Chloe and Justin were working on, or she and Justin are working on like what exactly, like a tracker for how to pull your leaders and what touch points you kind of should have so that I can add that into my planner because I need that, right? So it's going to kind of go along with the coaching call thing. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. Here is my happy planner. I'm real bougie, so I have to get all of the accessories because that's just who I am as a person. Faith is shaking her head, but that's who I am. I love you, mean it. And that's just what I have to do, okay? You do not have to get a happy planner. If you already have a planner that you can put things in, don't go and buy a happy planner. You don't have to buy a happy planner. You can use a dang binder. Whatever it is that you want to use. Like these forms are 8.5 by 11. It's not hard. You don't have to go buy a happy planner. Like so many of my team are like, oh my God, I need to buy a happy planner and spend $100. No, guys, you don't have to. It's okay. I'm just real bougie and this is what I wanted and this is what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's my cover. You don't need the cover. It was extra, but tax write-off, right? Anyway, and it was really just because I didn't like the option of what was on the front of mine and because it says just breathe. And sometimes I really have a hard time just breathing, if you can tell, like I can't even handle it. So anyway, planner, right? This is the only planner I have. I used to have a planner for work and for Scentsy, and don't do it, guys. Have it all in one place because it's just going to get way too overwhelming. And I thought it was a good idea, and it was a real bad idea. And then I was just writing everything in 2 places. That's not income producing, okay? And we're not doing anything that's not making us money. And I know that that sounds awful. I don't mean like only worry about the money, but you've got to cut the fluff out, especially when you have a million things to do. You don't have time to be doing all that other stuff. So in the front of my Happy Planner, I wrote my 2019 long-term goals and put some stickers because I'm bougie. If you were at SD Summit Approach, those stickers that they were using, those were the exact stickers that I had from the Happy Planner. So anyway, my goals, I leave that at the front because that's so important. Every time you open it, you need to see those. You need to see that. Okay. And then what else I'm going to add in here is my 2 things I'm going to add. And I got it from, she's on this call. It was the 331 or 313. I can't remember. JC. No. I don't remember. But whoever you are, you're awesome. Nessa, right? I think. I can't remember. I am so bad at word vomit. And people would ask me what I do. I'm like, oh, it's a home fragrance company. Like, how freaking stupid is that answer? And I know so many other people have done that. So if you haven't watched Nissa's video on the 313 or whatever the numbers are, do it. I haven't had a chance to write my sentences down, but I'm going to write that here because I need to see it because I word vomit on people. Okay. I'm also going to write down my why times 5. Anna Hughes, who I really, really look up to, was like, well, why do you do this? Well, if you didn't, because I turned down top 100 for Africa. And I'm like, Africa just wasn't it for me. And I wanted to give it to someone that it was really like it for them. I felt like if it wasn't a hell yes, I needed to not go and let someone else that really wanted go. I was fine with the Dominican. And so she was like, well, then where would your place be that you just had to go? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I had no answers for her because I just didn't know what those answers were. What is my problem? Like, I need to get it together. I need to figure out where my place is and all that. So anyway, I'm going to write that at the front because it needs to be present. Hole punched a showcase brochure because ain't nobody got time to go on my workstation when I can't remember what a price of something is. And if you remember the prices of everything all the time, like you deserve a high five because I don't. Okay. Bundle and save. I found this on some page or whatever. I needed it so I don't have to go and look it up. It's easy, simple. I turn to it. Then at the front of my planner, I have, just going to show you, this is actually in the Google Drive too. All that is all my logins and my passwords. So if somebody gets my planner, they have my life. Sorry. My bill payment checklist. And then I just have another tab. And then that is where all my business stuff starts. Okay. So my dream team list, a lot of this stuff I just started. So that's why there's not a ton. I have my list of 100. And then I just have all my other trackers. You can see that I'm still filling things out. I promise I really work it. My annual mentor and annual sales are blank because I'm finishing those up on my old tracker. And then I'm going to start new. And then so you can see my monthly tasks. It's all right here. That's what I like. I don't have to continually put new stickers in. I don't have to continually do all the things. There's my weekly. And so then what I do, coaching call tips. I keep that in my binder too. So if I forget like what I want to talk to people about, if I'm on the phone with them, here are some tips. Like if my mind goes blank, I can put that in there too. So coaching call tips. And then my coaching call checklist. That's where it is right behind there. I have them all written down so I can just look at them at a glance because I ain't got time to print anything out. My inactive tracker, I had typed those in, and then all those other forms that I've shown you. Now, this is how I schedule my week. If you have a happy planner, or here's my habit tracker, and let's be real, I didn't work my habits last week at SD Approach because, yeah. So anyway, then I separate my month and my like bigger trackers just by a little tab. And so then what I do on Sundays, because I'm still a list person, is I have the weekly layout. And some of you guys can see this. I'm going to cover my face. I have my weekly layout. And so every Sunday I plan out my week more intentionally. I have my month laid out. But I mean, let's be real. We don't write every single thing we have to do for the month on the big month layout. So I do my Sunday 7. And I know that Jamie talks about the Sunday 7 and like, what are the things you're actually going to do? So for me, like I have lots of other personal stuff I need to do this week before I leave to go on vacation. So I write that down over in the notes section of my planner. And then through here, I have my coaching calls scheduled, all the meetings, who's picking up who, all the different things. But then that way, everything is in one place. My planner is my baby. Like it is now with me all the time because I got this cute bougie little holder and it can go with me everywhere. And it's not a big bulky binder. It's not something that's like a hassle. This little holder thing has all the places for my pens. I could put my phone in here. Like I could do all the things. But that way, there's no excuse for me not to work my business. If I am stuck in the McDonald's drive-thru for 30 minutes while I wait on my son's chicken nuggets because he's throwing a fit, I can work my business. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. If you want to talk, you can unmute yourself. I know I talked a little bit longer than an hour. I'm sorry. But I just created this. I had to create something that was going to hold me accountable, and now I can teach my team to do something. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but do something to hold yourself accountable. So, sure will. The bundle and save stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure most of that stuff's in there, but I'm going to put it in there. I'll screen share with y'all real quick one more second. So when I share my Google Drive with you, you won't be able to edit it, but you'll be able to access it to be able to download it. I don't know why it's downloading funny. If it's still downloading funny, then I will fix it. But you can also see in the folders up here, all of this will be available to y'all. Some people use a leadership. This is a leader binder that somebody else used, and I just kind of made it my own. And then this is Cincy Business References. So when I say that I'm tracking my numbers, it's literally from the workstation. I do my daily numbers tracker. I used not to, but I want to see trends in my business at the 15th of different months. I want to see that. There's the ideas to create your list. Those will pop up. Here are just some free printables that I found. And I mean, I feel like if I find them, I'm just going to share them and maybe it'll work for somebody. But yes, I will upload those other things. Here, if you get a happy planner, here's an editable weekly insert that you can just put in and print. Memory jogger for your list of 100. Anything else I will help you guys out with. Google Forms are so easy. Literally just YouTube it. It took me a minute to kind of get it the way that I wanted it to look, but once you set them up once, it's so easy. I even do order forms on that too. For like my online parties, I send them the Google order form. Does anybody else have any questions? Thank y'all for coming on and listening to me talk. But remember, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't add things to your list that you don't normally do. Just think about the things that you already do because you want to build consistency. If you're consistent, then you will find success. And I fully believe that success is a natural consequence of good habits. Okay? All right, so I'm going to post the link. I'm going to upload this, and then I'm going to post the link to the Google Drive. I'll do it on our official page and all the pages. I'm going to update it real quick, and then I'll share the link. All right? I am going to stop recording, and I hope that you guys have a good night.